Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I know on this channel we usually do art and reading, but today we're going to learn a little bit more about the art of baseball card collecting and grading. So I'm going to turn it over today to my husband Paul, who has some new baseball cards.
Hey everybody, welcome to this PSA grade reveal. Um, this is my first time doing this uh, video revealing PSA grades. I've watched a lot of these online. They are kind of fun, and I do have quite a bit of cards that I sent in for PSA grading, and I just kind of wanted to bring that to everybody here. Um, and you can kind of go on this journey with me as I see these grades. I have not looked at them yet. Um, like I said, this is my first time doing this. This might be actually my only time doing this. Um, Watching some of the other PSA reveals online, the grading has kind of not met expectations for some of the cards that people have sent in to PSA, and it could be quite expensive. Of course, you have to pay per card sending these things in, and if they don't meet your expectations, then of course you're not getting the value out of it, and then you kind of lose a little bit of the fun too, and then it can be quite costly. Um, and then also, in addition to that, I was very meticulous with these cards that I sent in. With my submission, considering that I did send in some older cards. Um, some were fresh out of the pack. Some were cards that I picked up at an estate sale, early '80s cards, things like that. So, and I was very meticulous with the things that I sent in. This is more or less for me strictly a hobby. I don't. I am not looking for any great value out of this. Um, this is my third submission, by the way. My first submission was 3 cards. My second was 7 cards, and then this final one is 25. Uh, but kind of there's 4 reasons that I kind of wanted to do this, especially sending cards into PSA. Like I said, which can be a little costly, seeing that I'm not trying to get any real value out of these things by resale or anything. This is more or less strictly for my own hobby and my own collection. So I'm not looking for, mass quantities here and trying to flip anything for a profit. Uh, but, there recently has been a kind of an increased interest in card collecting recently. I think that kind of piqued my interest. I've been seeing online people sending in cards, that I used to, collect in the 80s and 90s as a young kid. And, I just wanted to kind of revisit that now that I'm a little more settled in life, and kind of go through my old collection here that I used to have, and kind of seeing what I could send in and actually say, hey, I got a PSA 10 that I had graded, that I had from a card when I was a kid. Um, so I went through my old cards, and I pulled some of those as well, and we're going to see some of those. Um, Also came across, like I said, that an estate sale here locally, just kind of by happenstance. And after the collectors kind of got first crack, this person had a huge card collection in their home. But some of the collectors, I think locally, were given first crack at this collection. I think they took everything basically before 1980, and everything that kind of remained was just kind of open to the general public as they filtered in. But I was able to walk away from that with a bunch of early 80, 81, 82, 83 Fleer and Topps cards, and I pulled out some really good cards from that. And then, finally, I wanted to, like I said before, kind of experience the PSA grading process. Um, so, and I want to share that with you. So before I jump in here, what I'm going to show you is my first submission, some cards from my first submission, and also for my second submission, just kind of the grades that I got back here, and then how that kind of like snowballed into me submitting this large 25 quantity order. Okay, so let's jump right in. What I want to share with you guys is just kind of the first submission I did uh, for PSA grading. What I did is I actually picked up a box of 1991 Upper Deck, namely because I was seeing online, and I know these cards aren't really worth much, but some of these cards, especially the Michael Jordan baseball card here, was kind of increasing in value, and I was seeing that online quite a bit. And I was like, you know what, I really want to try to get that card. Maybe put it in my collection, send it out for grading. See if I can get a 9 or a 10 or something on it. Like that. And that's what I did. I bought a box of 1991 Upper Deck. Only cost me, I think, about $40 because they're relatively cheap, and they made these things by the ton. So, I kind of pulled out 3 cards for grading, and, this is what I got back. So this is a 1991 Upper Deck Michael Jordan. This is when he kind of dipped his toe into trying to play baseball. This was right out of the pack. It was very well centered. Um, and there was really no guarantee that I was going to get this card in the box, but I did. I did send it in, and you can see I got it back as a 9, and I'm very happy with that. I kind of was able to kind of put that on the wall and just say, hey, make it kind of a talking point in my man cave here. The other card that I sent in was the Ricky Henderson card. This was another one that everybody was kind of touting as saying, hey, this is a neat card, and it's kind of increasing in value. I don't really quite know the values of these cards. With them both being 9s, there's probably not much at all. But as you can see, this Henderson here, very well centered, and yeah, so I'm happy with that one as well. So let me try to move that in a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. And just kind of flip it around so you can kind of see. There's the 9. Okay. And then the last one I sent in was a Deion Sanders. I don't really know why I sent this in. I think just because Deion Sanders was, kind of in the news recently. I think he's coaching a football team, and he's been making the news. So I sent this in. I'm not quite sure if this is actually his rookie card. Looks a little bit more here, more like his second year. Once again, not worth anything. I got it back as an 8. It probably doesn't make that thing worth anything at all. That's just kind of a throwaway card. But this is just kind of my novice approach to PSA. Because I didn't really know what I was doing. I really didn't even look at the cards when I sent them out. Sent them in. I was more or less just looking at the centering here. I wasn't looking at the edges. I wasn't looking at the corners or anything, which I know are big pieces of why these cards receive the grades that they do. This card looks generally perfect, and it only came back as an 8, and this was fresh out of the pack, very well centered by the looks of it. So I'm not quite sure why it got an 8. I mean, this is, but once again, no value in this card. So this will probably just find its way into a drawer somewhere around here. So kind of lesson learned with that a little bit. So the second submission I sent in, I sent in 7 cards, and I kind of pulled out 4 cards from that I sent in. So I became a little bit more familiar with the process. Some of these cards that I did send in were, let's see if I can set them up here. These cards that I did send in were pulled from that estate sale. And like I said, there were some early 80s Fleer and Topps cards. But surprisingly, one of the highlights that I kind of felt came out of that is, like I said, this individual had thousands of cards, and I was only able to grab about 7 boxes worth of those early 80s cards, but some of them were a little bit more modern. And one of the big ones I found was he had a kind of a complete set of the 1994 Ted Williams Company cards. I never really collected this as a kid, but look, it's a Derek Jeter rookie card, and this guy kept everything very pristine. Everything was very well kept. But I found this Derek Jeter. I sent it in, and I know Derek Jeter rookie cards, especially in PSA 10s, have been going for thousands upon thousands of dollars. Now this one does not meet any of those. I think there's about only 800 PSA 10s according to the website. This card might only be worth about maybe $60 to $80. But I did get back a 10, and I was extremely happy with that. Just so I could say, hey, I got a Derek Jeter rookie card PSA 10 in my collection, and so there's that right there. And I don't really know why I sent in this Jason Giambi, but I did get that back as a 10 as well. Probably no real value there. I don't, Jason Giambi hasn't been in the news or, made any headlines recently or anything like that. But so that one might find itself in a drawer as well. But here's two other ones. 1981 Fleer Nolan Ryan got back as a 9. Kind of once again, I was only looking at the centering for these cards. I wasn't really quite looking at the edges, but I did for the order that we're going to look at here, the 25 order, the reveal. But this is great. Nolan Ryan, 1981 Fleer PSA 9. I mean, I'm extremely happy with that, and I'll put that one up on the wall as well. And then Ricky Henderson as well. This isn't necessarily his Fleer rookie card, but it is I think a second card in the set that just kind of says the most stolen bases in the American League. So 1981 Fleer Ricky Henderson got this back as an 8. Upon closer inspection, when I look at it, with the little monocle here, the little magnifying glass, it's I can kind of see why it had a bit of a downgrade. Because there doesn't look anything really wrong with this card. It's very well centered and everything, but when you look closely, you can kind of see the edges are a little bit frayed, things like that. So and then one actually the surprises that I'm not putting on the screen right here is I sent in a Ryan Sandberg rookie card, and I was actually able to get that back as a PSA 9. So I was very happy with that card. I can have that one behind glass. There's nothing great about a PSA 9, of course. It really, like I said, just more for my own collection and just to kind of hang on the wall, make it a talking point. But the ability to pull, hey, a Ryan Sandberg rookie PSA 9, that's great in my book. And so before I go into it, I'm going to take these down real quick and put those to the side. Move these back just real quick. So I just wanted to show you that when we do this reveal for the grading, the boxes are still sealed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these. I'm going to get everything in order because I do have some notes on these cards. And then I'm going to come right back and we're going to do the reveal together. Okay, guys, I have all the cards prepped, ready to go. Like I said, 25 cards. I'm going to do these right here, then I'll just move on to this whole thing here. I do have notes on these cards, so I'll try to make this quick as I go through it. And like I said, I haven't seen any of the grades when it comes to these cards, so you'll be just as surprised as I am. And also wanted my wife to kind of share in this experience here as I go through this. So the first two cards up, I did actually buy a couple packs of 2002 Bowman online recently, and I think I was looking, because I'm a big New York Mets fan, I was actually looking for a David Wright rookie card to send in, and I actually did send one in, but I was looking for one that might be a little bit more pristine and crisp right out of the pack. But I did come across these two because they looked really good. And I'll start with the Albert Pujols here because he's a big name player right now, and then same thing with the Miguel Cabrera card. So right here, like I said, 2002 Bowman and number 245, and we got back a 9. Okay, great. I'll take that. That's a little bit off center. I don't really have any notes on these ones here just because they were fresh right out of the pack, but I think probably because of the off centering here, and I didn't really see anything with regards to the edges, but I will definitely take that. So I'm going to put that off to the side. That's not a big win for the team. It's not a 10. But then again, nines are difficult too. And then of course the Albert Pujols card here, we got a 9 as well. Okay, so getting 10s through grading is extremely difficult. This isn't necessarily probably what you would consider a modern card, I guess. 2010 and on, maybe, just because everything's just all laser cut and perfectly centered right out of the pack, and it's very easy to get, I think, a modern card as a PSA 10 nowadays. But some of the older cards, especially the ones from the 80s that I think we'll see, going to be extremely difficult to get PSA 10s. And You know, I didn't go in expecting some of these cards to be PSA 10s in their entirety. I do have some notes on these things just because I did see some defects, and some of the cards I did send in were kind of just for my own collection. So we're going to see how that goes. Okay, so let's start with Carl Yastrzemski. So this was a what is this? A 1991 Fleer. This one looked really good. I kind of checked everything. Probably won't be a 10 according to my notes here. This might be an 8 or a 9 due to the some left edge fray right here. And we got back, oh, a 9. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm really happy with that. A 9. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. Let's put that one up here just for now. Okay. Next one up, Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy, big name player. Back in the day, 1991, 81 Flair. Good looking card. Great corners, centered well, but the edges were frayed a little bit. I don't think this will be a 10 at all. 8 or a 9. I think it's just not good enough for a 10. So, oh, we got back a 9, man. Man, I am killing it with some of these cards. You know, and one of the things I wanted to kind of say when it comes to these reveals is, you know, you can see that this card is not perfectly centered. So maybe, you know, PSA might give you a little bit more grace period. I think it was like, you know, 60-40 on the front, or it's, you know, 55-45, something to that effect. But as you can see, that's not very well centered, and I got it back as a 9. But it's good to take notes on these things, because I do have a lot of cards kind of, you know, in the queue ready to be sent in, but they do have some of these minor defects on them. And I was very hesitant to send those in as well, you know, with this lot, just because, like I said, it is so expensive. So this would be good to kind of reference. So if I'm getting a 9 on this card, you know, if I do a compare to another card I want to send in, and I say, hey, this might have a little bit of, you know, maybe some fraying on the edge or something like that, or the corners aren't as crisp, you know, I can maybe expect to get back a 9, or even possibly a 10 on those cards as well. So, you know, that's just good for my knowledge, and I'll keep these notes that I have on these cards. I'm going to put that one up here as well. Go with that. Okay, next up, Willie Stargell. Willie Stargell, big player. What year is this here? Oh, 1982 Topps. What's up with this card? Very, very clean card. I think if it's, I think this is a 10. That's just my own take on it, looking at everything. But if it's a 9, it's probably due to the centering. Okay, it's a 9. Okay. Once again, not bad. I'll probably due to some of the centering on this. I don't know if it was maybe a little bit too high. Could have been on the back. You can kind of see where, you know, where it's just not as perfectly centered. But man, I will take a 9 all day long. So let's put that up there as well. And I'm going to swap those out, of course, because we got a lot to go through. As we continue on, I sent in a Reggie Jackson here. Reggie Jackson, 1981 Fleer. And I did get it back as non-graded. I don't really know what the problem was with this card. I mean, I'm going to look at it here. They don't really give you a reason. From what I gather, I can maybe do the QR code. This is my first time ever getting something back like this. Just what is wrong with this? I have no idea. I thought this was definitely going to be a 9, because it is off-center just a bit. And if it wasn't, it would probably be a 10. So I have absolutely no idea what the problem is with that card. Okay, and that card came in this little package here. So if you actually do send off the PSA, I know this is my first time ever getting a card back like this, where it was non-graded. But as you can kind of see, they just kind of put it in this little cardboard here, and you know, I've seen some people, I think, try again with the cards, maybe send it off to a different company. I really have no desire to send that card back again. I don't think that they charge you for it, PSA, if they actually give you a no grade. Because once again, I'm not looking for value. I'm just kind of looking for, you know, this is kind of a fun little, you know, part of the hobby for me. And so unfortunate I got that Reggie Jackson back, but let's see how we do with these other ones. It's very promising. Um, Next up is going to be Alan Trammell. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with this card when I looked at it. I'm guessing it's going to be a 10, and I got back as a 9. Okay, okay. Very, very difficult with these cards sometimes to get back anything other to get a 10 when it comes to the early 80s cards. And these are white border too. I know with the black border, you know, especially in the 80s, some of those cards came back like that. Uh, Even more difficult with the black border. So, but this has a 9. This ain't bad. I'll take that. Alan Trammell, All-Star, and so good. Whether this makes it to the wall or not, I guess we'll see. But let's go from there. And I'm going to take some of these down here, put them to the side, because I'm sure there's some other ones that we're going to want to showcase as we continue to go through. Okay, next up, Paul Molitor, card 1982 Fleer. Once again, another one I'm guessing is a 10. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with this card when I sent it in. So, and I got it back as a 9. Okay, so it looks like the 9s are trending. And it looks like maybe my being very meticulous on some of these things paid off, because I did look at the corners, I did look at the centering, and I did look at the edges, and I think that was huge. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with that Paul Molitor. So why it's not a 10, I don't know, because there was nothing that I saw wrong about it. So once again, but it does behoove you to kind of do the legwork ahead of time, you know, look at it up close, magnifying glass, things like that, and all that work, and I still only got a 9, what I thought would have been a 10, so very difficult with these cards. Next up is Joe Ferguson. Now, Joe Ferguson is not known, is not a big name player or anything like that, but, you know, looking on the PSA website, sometimes you look at these sets, these early 80s Topps, Fleer sets, things like that. Some of these no names, I'm just going to call them a no name. Sometimes on their they have on PSA, you can kind of look like what is the value of these cards, like what they have sold for in the past, whether on eBay or maybe some other platform. And some of these cards, like this Joe Ferguson, like I think this card might have sold for, you know, like $60 to $80. I'm not quite sure of the price actually, but it was worth me sending it in, because I think some people actually like trying to complete entire sets of everything graded in the set. And of course, they're looking for, you know, cards that are, you know, 9s or 10s. So I got this, possibly maybe hoping for a resale on it, that maybe somebody looking to complete a set might be looking for this Joe Ferguson. But of course, it cost me money to do so, and there's no guarantee. So number 416, I'm thinking this Ferguson is going to be a 10. I wouldn't have sent it in otherwise, and I got it back as a 9. So yeah, so this might actually be a card that, you know, I may put on eBay and maybe try to, you know, recover some of my money back with this, or even more so, just because somebody's trying to complete a set. I have no real need to keep a Joe Ferguson for the Angels here, catcher, outfielder for the Angels way back in the day. So I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, moving on. Gary Carter. Gary Carter is the man. My favorite New York Mets player of all time. Growing up in the 80s, Gary Carter, catcher, the kid. You know, he's probably what made me a Mets fan. And of course, the '86 team back then was, you know, it was the year of the Mets. You know, it was all about the Mets. And I'm playing Little League back then, and you know, I just kind of gravitated to him. And of course, Gary Carter was a big reason for that. And then through to this day. And I do have a Gary Carter rookie card. It's not in the best of condition in my collection, but I do have it. But there's Gary Carter here. Of course, nowhere near his rookie season. But this is a 1983 Topps Gary Carter. I'm thinking that this is a 10. I wouldn't have sent it in otherwise. And I got it back as a 10. Oh, man. I am extremely happy with that. Look at that. Gem Mint 10. I will take that all day long. I might actually put that on the wall here right next to his rookie card. So good. Good. Okay, moving on. Oh, let's put that up here because That's a 10, and we want to make sure we showcase that. Okay. Next up is another Willie Stargell. I'm guessing that this one is a 10. This is a 1981 Fleer. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with this card. Maybe the back problems here, but I don't think so. So, and we got this. Oh, it's a 10. Look at that. Man, another 10. Excellent. I am very happy with that. So, okay. Moving on. Harold Baines. Okay, Harold Baines, I think he just made it into the Hall of Fame. So I know his cards have increased in value, and I believe that this is his rookie card. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, 1981 Flair. This is not like the most expensive Harold Baines rookie card. I think the Topps one is really the one. I'd be okay with a 9. It's a possible 10. It's an uneven right edge here. If you look close enough, it's a little... I say it's frayed, but it's like, there's a little bit of those hanging, pieces of cardboard where it wasn't cut exactly, clean. But everything else looked good. So like I said, I'll be happy with a 9. It's a possible 10. Oh, it's a 9. Man, I am slaying it here. This is great. I am so happy. So... so let's keep those up here, and we'll see what we got. Next up, Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench, saw nothing wrong with this card. Looked very clean. 1983 Topps. Wouldn't have sent it in otherwise. I'm thinking it's going to be a 10. And I got this back as a 10. Man, look at that. Wow, look at, I got 10s, 10. Who am I going to replace out here? Let's take out the Paul Molitor. And let's put up the Johnny Bench. All right. Moving on. Okay. Next up, we're going to move into hockey. As you can see, I like the Penguins here on my Penguins table. And I bought a box of 1990 score, the Canadian score. Got it for way cheap. I think maybe $40. And what I was really looking for was I was looking for, for some Gretzkys. I was looking for some Lemieux. But I was really looking for the Jaromir Jagr, because I know he just retired recently, and had a big, nice ceremony for the Penguins. And I just kind of wanted to get my hands on a rookie card, just so I can kind of put it up on the wall. But there are some really good cards in here. This is the Canadian version, I think a little bit more rare than the American one. And I think there's red. There's the score label here on the front is in red, which indicates that it's a Canadian. So, but some of these cards I pulled out, they looked really good sending it in. So this Wayne Gretzky here, I'm thinking it's a 9 or a 10, and I'll be happy with either. And I got it back as a 9. Excellent. 9. I'll take that all day long. Okay. So I'm going to remove these down, take these off of here. It's too bad because those are 10s, and I'm extremely happy with that. That is fantastic. Okay. So moving on. Okay, so let's put the Gretzky up there for a 9. All right, moving on. Mario Lemieux. And I just wanted to point out how, on the Gretzky, the score is in red there, which indicates, I guess, this is the Canadian. Yeah, 1990 score Canadian right up top. So good. I'll take a 9. So this is a Mario Lemieux. Pulled this right out of the pack. I'm thinking that this is going to be a 10, but I'm probably saying it's going to be a 9 just based on the on what we've seen before with these cards. So, and I got this back as a 9. Okay, good. I will take that again. Mario Lemieux. It's a 9. Okay, nowhere near Mario Lemieux's rookie card or Wayne Gretzky, but kind of interesting to say the least. I did send in 2 Jaromir Jagrs, just because if I did get back at 10, I wanted to keep that, and possibly the other one I could possibly sell. I'm not in it for the money, of course, but if I could actually sell one of them and maybe even try to recoup, because you get, and I've heard before on these PSA reveals, you get 110 and it's a really sought after card. You can almost pay for your entire PSA order that you sent in. So that's kind of the reason I sent in these two Yarmir Yagers. This is his rookie card, first round draft choice, 1990. I think this is one of the bigger cards. It's not extremely worth a lot of money. It's not really up there, but it would be great to get a 10. I put down to get a 10 on both of these because I didn't really see anything wrong with them. I think on the back, I mean, it's a little bit off center, but I know PSA does give you some grace period when it comes to the back. So let's see, we'll do them one at a time. 9 and 9. Okay. So not bad. I mean, I was kind of hoping maybe one of those to be a 10. That would have been fantastic. But I will take the 9 all day long. Okay. And then I do have 2 more hockey cards coming up here. Oh, actually 3. Yeah, I got 3. Yes, I'm sorry. So let's do Marty Brodeur. I believe he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think I would have sent this in otherwise. Yeah, Marty Brodeur played for the New Jersey Devils. Fantastic goalie. And this, of course, is his rookie card. I think this card does have some fraying. I can actually see the fraying right here a little bit, which I'm almost guaranteeing is not going to be make it a 10. But I wanted to have a Marty Brodeur rookie too. And I did. I think I actually pulled like 2 or 3 of them out of the box. And I think this one was actually looking like the best one. And I got this back as an 8. Okay, so there you go. So that's the reason. I can actually see it right through. If you can actually see how there's a little bit of fraying down there, which I can almost guarantee made that card an 8.
Put your glove behind it, the black glove. You'll be able to see it.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, you can see it.
Did you pause it?
No.
Oh. I'm sorry.
I'm just doing some tips.
Yeah, just having an offhand conversation with my wife here. I thought she paused it. That's why I was extremely quiet. But she says, yeah, she has more experience doing these things. I'm going to keep moving that in close so you can kind of see that little fraying right there. But, despite that, that's still got an 8, which I guess in the grand scheme of things is not entirely too bad. Okay, second one coming up here. Wayne Gretzky, All-Star, second team. I said, I think this was probably an 8, I'm going to say. And I got it back as a 9. Okay, hey, once again, I'm extremely happy with that as well. I'll take a 9 all day long. And then the last hockey card I got here was an Eric Lindros. This is actually, I think, is the biggest card of the 1990 score that is sought after. I only was actually, I think, able to pull 1 Lindros out of the box when I did it. And I think I would be happy with an 8. I don't think this was the best of cards. I can actually see a little bit of frame just kind of looking right now on this top right corner here. If you can kind of see, there's just a little bit of that hanging cardboard up there. There you go. So kind of word to the wise. And if this is an 8, then I was spot on. And I got it back as an 8. Look at that. Boom. So good to go. But I'll take an 8. Hey, that's not bad. Okay, so I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only got 5 more cards left. So let's just jump into this quick, and I'll take these down here and go from there, just so I can display the other ones. I'm pretty excited with those grades here. I'm very excited. 8s, 9s. 9s are good as far as I'm concerned because it is extremely difficult to get 10s a lot of times with PSA grading. Maybe some of the other companies I have not tried to send in any cards through theirs. I like uniformity. And when it comes to uniformity, just so you can kind of see, I was actually able to buy these on Amazon. They look very much like a PSA frame here. So if I go to display, like now this is a Lee Smith. Lee Smith here was he just became a Hall of Famer from what I understand. This is a card that I pulled from that estate sale, but as you can see, this is way off center. Like this is not making anything anywhere near a 10, probably not even a 9, just because of how off centered it is. So there's no real reason for me to send that in because I'm just not getting any value back in that. But I still would like to showcase this card in my collection and, put it in something that is uniform to, the PSAs. So, I bought these interesting frames here off of Amazon, and I'm able to kind of center the card, and I'm able to make a little logo up here. And, so if you look, left to right, if they're being displayed, you're not really going to see too much of a difference, on the wall. And, so I like uniformity. And as you can see, I just kind of typed up the 1982. This is actually the Lee Smith rookie card, but it has the Cubs logo reversed on back. I don't know if you've ever seen this one. And that was the thing with this guy's collection. He had entire sets, but he also had some of the error cards in the set as well. So I was like, why is there a duplicate in this set? And as I looked further, you can kind of see that this was in there as well, and you can kind of see how the Cubs logo is reversed on the back. So that is interesting, and I kind of wanted to put that in some sort of frame instead of just kind of stick it in a book somewhere, and then it doesn't become a talking piece. But no real reason to send this card in because you're just not going to get. I'm just not going to get the value out of it. I bought this case here, this plastic case. I typed up the little logo here, put it in here, and boom, and it cost me, just a couple bucks to do so. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that to you. But moving on, I'm gonna pull these out right here. Just put them in front of me. So I know Michael Jordan cards have been big recently, his rookie cards going for thousands upon $1,000. I have nothing like that here. I don't even think I owned one back in the 80s because it was even sought after back then. But going through my old collection, when I was a kid, some of these cards I was able to pull out of Michael Jordan, because I think even some Michael Jordan cards are that are not his rookie cards can be worth some money, especially if they're 10. So I kind of wanted to see what I could get, and some of these cards kind of fit the bill. So this was a Jordan all-time stats leader card, 1991 NBA hoops, I believe. I bought tons of NBA hoops back in the day when me and my friends were big into basketball back then. So I'm guessing that this would be a 10. I think this was in my collection. It hasn't been touched probably since the since the 90s, since I bought it. So I'm guessing a 10 and a 9. Okay, I'll take a 9. Can't be too worried about that. Let's put that up here. Display. This is a Barcelona basketball team. I don't think this one was like the best. This is 1992 score. Skybox, I'm sorry, not score. What am I saying? Skybox card. USA basketball team. What am I saying? This one was going to be a 10. Got it back as a 9. Okay. So very good, very good. And then, of course, these Michael Jordans here, this 1991 NBA hoops. This was when, the USA basketball team, the Dream Team, especially, I think I have 2 or 3 sets of every single one of the cards for the Dream Team. And, not every one of those cards is in, condition to send in. And of course, why would I? Is it worth sending it in? But but Michael Jordan, of course, I pulled out because I thought that this card in particular was darn near spot on. It should be a 10. I'm guessing it's a 10, but I'm saying it's probably going to be a 9 if I had to guess, because that's just the way things have been going. And I got it back as a 10. Wow, that is great. And I will probably definitely put that one up on the wall. Look at that. That's a 10. That is beautiful. Awesome. Wow. Definitely worth it right there. And then the final 2, I'm just going to get to. This is a David Wright rookie card. Actually, I bought this online, this rookie card. And like I said, I was looking for another David Wright with the Bowman, 2002 Bowman. But this, I just kind of wanted to put this behind glass. I wanted to put it behind official. When I say glass, I mean, the PSA plastic. I wanted to put this behind PSA plastic. Just because I wanted the David Wright rookie card on my wall. I'm thinking I did still put it down as a 10 or a 9. So because I just didn't see anything wrong with it, but I did buy it online, and I kind of figure, like, if you're buying it online through eBay, the person's only selling it because it's not meeting perfect 10 expectations because they probably would have done it themselves. But there are dealers that just deal in bulk like that. They just deal cards and they send them out, and that's how they make their money. So got this back as a 9. Hey, I am extremely happy with that because that's kind of what I was looking for. And then final, kind of the piece de resistance here is Mike Piazza. I was looking for this. I did buy a couple packs of the 1992 Topps Bowman. I was looking for his rookie card just because I wanted to put it on the wall. This is fresh out of the pack. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a 10 because I have it listed as a 10. If I get it back as a 9, I guess I'll be okay. But I mean, there was almost nothing wrong with this. So please be a 10 and a 9. Okay. And you see, there's almost nothing wrong with these things. Maybe it's a little bit off center, but like there's almost nothing. So why this came back as a 9? Once again, I think maybe this might lead into why maybe some people are disappointed in some of the PSA grades, just because it's so hard to kind of get maybe 10s with some of the submissions, and it might be easier through some of the other grading companies because, of course, a 10, really increases the value. I mean, a Mike Piazza as a 9, a handful of dollars. But as a 10, you could be getting up into the, I don't know what a Mike Piazza is worth, maybe somewhere between $400 and $500. But I just want to say thanks for going on this journey with me, and it was really fantastic looking at these. I got back some great grades, and I think my meticulous nature paid off here because I was very meticulous, looking through, the magnifying glass here at the edges, making sure I only sent in cards that were I thought could possibly come back as a 10. As you see, I did get back some that were 10s. So it paid off. Anyway, if you have any comments, please comment below and let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions for future grading or your experience with PSA submissions, or what you think might have paid off, maybe with some other even other grading companies when it comes to cards like this, let me know. Thank you.
All right, thanks again to my husband Paul for sharing his cards with us today. And remember, if you are needing a reading tutor or small reading group classes for any struggling readers in your life, check out my live classes on OutSchool. I do offer videos on YouTube that can help your struggling reader. Those are free to access, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and look for videos that are out there and for new videos to come. And there are also some art videos, and I teach live art classes on OutSchool as well. And I hope to see you again soon.